Hey there, Shop Manager. Let's do a hard stop edition of the Shop Talk Show. That means we got meetings. We got to churn this out, buddy. This is a whoa, churn it out. I'm Dave Rupert with Miss Square. Chris, who do we got today?
Yeah, the meeting is a plumber too, so it's pretty important, I'd say. And speaking of plumbing, we have the official CSS plumber himself on the show here today, who's never been on before, believe it or not, Kevin Powell. Hi, Kevin. Thanks for joining this.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm very honored to be here. I started listening to you guys way like a decade ago, probably. So it's cool to finally be on.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if you're getting a plumber, it's either 45 minutes early or 45 minutes late. So it could be surprises here, surprise edition. So
yeah, could be. It's just the dumbest problem ever, and I don't even want to think about it. Okay, fun. So, I mean, you probably know Kevin more than you know us, but maybe not because it's our show, so you definitely know us, you know. But But Kevin, I would love to hear a little bit more about your history and stuff. If people know Kevin now, chances are it's YouTube, wouldn't you say? Like you got the YouTube thing kind of on lock at the moment.
Yeah,
I
would assume if someone knows me, that's where they know me from. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, very likely. And just on the heel, we'll say that we talked to Kevin before he hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube, because it seems like you're just days, weeks away. We'll see.
I don't know. It's dragging on at this point. The subscriber number. My kids are bugging me all the time now. Like, when are you going to get there? And I'm like, I don't know. It's going to be a little while, but
patience.
Yeah.
Wait for the Shop Talk bump right here. Here it comes. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah.
So, no, I like to tell people I know you, just to earn some street cred. So it's just like, my friend Kevin Powell. Yeah. So.
And it's our very favorite topic, usually. I'd say, I mean, I don't know. I can't say I've seen every single one of your YouTubes, but probably a lot of them. And you tend to be the CSS guy, right? So that's your main topic on there. I think we can get to that more. But is that true? That's your main kind of deal?
That's sort of the bread and butter for everything, which is kind of cool that managed to happen. But
yeah, it is cool because it's a little, as you know, I well know too. It's a little niche, you know. It's not it's not the absolutely most popular thing you could YouTube about. And so, you know, you could have gone, for example, I don't know, web development or something, gone broader, but you didn't.
Yeah, when I was first planning my channel, I was actually going to do it on WordPress development specifically. And I'm pretty happy that I have like a playlist of like 8 videos that I uploaded and never published that were on WordPress stuff. Things could have been quite different in the alternate universe or whatever.
Probably, because it's almost like, even though I don't know, I guess there's like more technology there. It almost seems like you'd like peter out sooner or something. Be like, okay, I did the one on making a theme. Maybe we could do a template. Maybe we could do a plugin or something. But I don't think it would be interesting to like watch somebody build a plugin 50 times. Whereas somehow magically in CSS, I'm more than happy to watch 50 interesting CSS concepts. Sometimes CSS is more niche, but somehow more interesting or something.
Yeah, and these days, like, you know, in a sense, like people have been like, you know, are you running out of things to talk about? And I'm like, actually, the opposite is true right now, where it seems to be that I can't keep up with everything to talk about because it's insane what's going on.
Is that true? Yeah, it's like you have
picked a good set of years
shortage
to pursue a YouTube career in CSS.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
It magically kind of worked out, probably. You know.
Yeah,
totally.
Awesome. I sold a CSS publication right at the worst possible time to. No, not really. But it is interesting. So what is that? I don't know. I think it'd be fun to like get into some CSS stuff because people love that. I love that. But it's hard to avoid the YouTube thing for a little bit. Just extracting some details from you. You know, what is like? Is that from? Is that like the driving internal thing? Like you wake up in the morning, and you're like, I better make some progress on the next YouTube video. Is that like the number one like piece of content that you produce is like a new video?
Yeah. It depends, I guess, I go through sort of like some cycles and different things. So like YouTube's a big part of that. And then the rest of it's still content creation in general, because it's courses and other things too. So working on lessons and all of that side of things. So sort of the main thing is bouncing back and forth between those two.
Right. And if a video might be just like a totally standalone thing, it's just like, I don't know, I just want to teach you all some stuff about CSS or whatever, and problem, or all of them are to some degree. But if you had a brand new course, would it be true that you'd like, I don't know, make videos that serve the sale of that course to some degree?
I should. I'm not very good at that. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. I'm just like, I got here by accident, so I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm always like, oh, I should do this type of thing. But then I don't always do it as much as I probably should. Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah. Do you feel like if you is it kind of like just keep doing what's working, or is it, because I feel like, Chris and I talk about this a bit, just even with the podcast, or like, do we do another show? Do we do like another thing? Can we extend this? And we always are just default to like, let's just stay in our wheelhouse, because if we try to pick something up, even like a cool thumbnail, we're like, dude, that's like probably going to break us. We're just not going to do it anymore. So do you think about that stuff, or I don't know. Do you not have ADHD? I guess would be the
I definitely do.
Okay,
I get
cool.
distracted all the time and come up with like weird tangents, or I'll do experiments and stuff that tend to peter out and die. Like one complaint I've always had about my content is that it's too long, because people they don't want to know why it's working. They just want the solution. And I'm like, well, that's not, you're in the wrong place. That's not my content. And I'm going to explain everything. But then I was like, maybe I could do, and this was before shorts even, I started doing like 5-minute or less videos. And that lasted for like 2 months. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And
it's all the editing of an hour
Oh my
video.
God, yeah.
And like, yeah. And yeah.
And yeah, so I'm always, and sometimes some ideas stick. Like at one point it was just like I needed a video and I didn't have a lot of time. So it was just like, let me find something cool on Dribbble and make it and put it out on it, like basically a live stream almost. No idea, and it ended up being like super popular, and people were like, oh, you make mistakes when you're writing code too, and you have to look things up. And I'm like, I didn't know you didn't realize that, but I guess if the only thing you're ever seeing is sharply edited YouTube videos, you get that impression from it.
Yeah. Do you like, so that kind of formula, like pick a dribble and go for it, that's been kind of successful for you?
Yeah, they work well. People like those for sure.
I feel like I see you still do that from time to time. Sometimes you have like kind of you're doing a whole side or something, but I feel like that's like an old standard you can go back to, kind of.
Yeah, I find I go through like season, or you can tell what I'm like interested in at the time, looking at the type of content I'm putting out. So like recently I've been playing with a lot of anchor positioning, so that's showing up in the videos because I'm like, oh, that was fun and cool, and we couldn't do that before, or you could, but it was really hard. So then I make that, but then as I'm making that, I get ideas for other things. So then I definitely go into like these like seasons almost of like specific features as I'm exploring them more.
Yeah. There is you explore it well though. Let's say I've been into anchor positioning too, and have been like, my little baby streaming career, I did a couple of streams on anchor positioning, and then, but the problem is I'll like start from absolute scratch nothingness, right? So I'm on like a Times New Roman lorem ipsum page, rocking a tooltip that I want to position, and then in a way, I think anyway, it harms the video to some degree, because you're looking at something very unrelatable, and it always seems like, true or not, that by the time you're showing something and playing with it on a video, that there's like some polish to it. There's something more relatable to it. It looks more like a beautiful page that you could kind of see yourself at work using or something. Right. Is there like a minimum level of polish you shoot for on these demos?
I do try. Sometimes that's the worst part too. You'll see some like coming up with like the rough plan for it's usually pretty easy, and then recording, editing, that's not too bad. Like that middle thing of like, okay, now I have to build a demo, sometimes sucks. That's like, yeah. Like, okay, let's like, and then like I have a few CodePen starter templates that I do just to have some styles in place, so I'm not, because if not, you're just rewriting it over and over again was kind of infuriating. But then I'm always changing what I need, so it's a bit frustrating there. But then the opposite does happen, where I make the demo first, just because I'm like the video, my most recent one where I was looking at like a navigation thing. I was just playing around with it, made the code pan. I'm like, oh, this would make a good video, and I already have the demo in place, so this is perfect.
Oh, but that's the anomaly though. Like that's a sometimes, but
that's
more.
A sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought almost for sure the demo would come first. Like you'd get the demo like super totally done, and then be like, all right, what am I going to say about this? But
right.
it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Usually it's the other way, because I try and have like, when I'm coming up with ideas for videos, I'm trying to focus on what like value someone's going to get from it, and then figure out like what am I going to be covering, and then build something up around that. And sometimes it's super easy, and other times it becomes a bit more of a slog. And it mostly depends on how interested I am in that topic, because if it's boring for me, I'm like, oh, do I have to work on this now? It's like, okay, let's just get this done, and then hopefully not get sucked off into distractions of other things while I'm doing it.
Is there a correlation? Because it sounds like you had and you're like, oh, I just need to do a video. Let me find a cool dribble or whatever, and then that one took off, which is like one of the most important thing content creators should know is that the less effort you put into something, the chances of it being ultra popular are super high.
Hasn't
somehow.
quite worked out for us here on the show. But no,
occasionally,
occasionally.
But the inverse is also true. If you work your ass off on something, the chances of it being a flop are also very high.
0 hits, man.
Yeah. That's funny. And so if you're bored by something, if you're like, oh, I have to finish that thing. I don't know. Sometimes there's still a reason, because sometimes you have to finish it because it's I don't know, video 17 of a 25 video series, and it has to be there because it's it's the one that makes video 18 make sense or whatever.
Yep.
What do YouTubers call it? A 1 out of 10 or whatever? Is that it? Do you know when you're on to a banger? Like you're like, this one is gonna do it. This one's gonna win. No, you know?
No idea.
No idea.
I usually find out if I assume it's gonna do super well, it's usually terrible. And
okay.
I still have no idea. There's a few things. It's like if you can make a clickbaity enough title around the topic, and if you look at it, you're like, okay, that's a good one, without being like overly clickbait, because people get angry at you then. But like if you like one of those like titles that can like hook someone in versus like learn about the has selector, like people that don't feel like learning about it aren't going to click on that. Whereas like actually interestingly I find the easiest ones to do that are for accessibility things. So I did one on just like the skip to main link. And like that's like every website has one or should have one of these or something like that. I don't remember exactly what I titled it, but it was like, you should have one of these, but you probably don't, type of thing. And then like I did get some complaints on whatever title I went with on that, but I was like, you know what, like I don't care, because it's an important message and an important topic. So if I can get more eyeballs on it, the better. So there is like that balance.
That's the perfect one. That's such an interesting, because you could have titled it how to make a skip to content link, and it would have got what it would have got.
Nobody would have watched that. It would have been terrible.
Okay, I'm gonna tell me if these are 1 out of 10s. All right, I'm gonna spit some titles.
Wait, is 1 out of 10 really good or really bad?
That's really good, right? That's like the top of your like top 10 videos or whatever, right? So this CSS property changes everything. Is that good? That's a good one, huh?
Probably
it
would
could be about has or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about top 5 CSS properties you have to use? No, I lost it.
I find those ones don't do as well as I ever think they will.
Okay. Well, all right. I'll walk it back.
All right, do one more.
Let's see. 2 idiots talk about CSS for 1 hour. Is that a good one? Chris ends. That's the episode title. Snap it right now. Okay, good. We lock it in. Okay.
Is
that good?
I like it. We use 2 because one of us is not.
No, yeah. 2. What is those like? Oh, I forget like where it's like one liberal argues 20 like anyways, it's like that, but like two idiots argue one smart person. Let's do that. Make that the title. Update the title, Chris. Oh man, that's good.
Right. So I mean, you have a video about has probably. Is that? I mean, I guess I should back up. Where I'm trying to go is like you cover the new stuff quite a bit, probably because it's interesting to you, which translates into interesting videos. Certainly interesting to me too. But is that? I wonder if that's like a good strategy overall, or like, I mean, you know, what if you tried to do a banger video about float or something? Would it just not do well because people think of you as like, I know about float. I already know CSS a little bit. I watch Kevin because Kevin covers new stuff and I want new stuff. Or do you think you could blow some minds about float? You know, could you apply your YouTube skills?
I get complaints in my comments a lot about some of the stuff I do just because it is a bit cutting edge. I do try and, if I am looking at something that's really new, I try and be like, you can use it as a progressive enhancement like this, or you know, there's a polyfill for it that you can use or whatever.
Yeah.
Just so it's not completely like, you know, I'm not going to be looking at, I haven't made anything on like functions yet or mix-ins or like anything that's like way too far away, even though I'd like to because they're cool. So I do try and wait until I got burned by Masonry layout because I did a video on it probably 7 years ago when Firefox first added support for it, because I was like, you know, like subgrid and Masonry are going to be here because everyone got grid so quickly. I made the assumption that that spec is going to keep going where everyone's just getting on board with it all, and then we're still figuring out what that's going to be today. So let's get the old Kevin Powell
verdict on item flow versus display grid
hilarious.
or display masonry. What's your
if you type CSS Masonry into YouTube, you definitely get Kevin. That's
they actually resolved yesterday to make it a new display type.
Oh, you're kidding! Is that
the Chrome
news?
one?
Oh, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Oh, wow.
So Apple lost. Oh,
yeah, that was in. I hope I'm getting that right, but that's in the GitHub repo if I can find it again. But on the issue for it, they said this is off my memory, but they resolved to a new display value. The new display value will be grid something, and the something hasn't yet been decided, and they're going to open a new issue to talk about the name.
So not Mason.
Not Mason. Oh, I like that because whatever. Sorry, David DeSandro. I really like you. You're a great person. The library was good, but I like it when names have like they like mimic a real thing, and like Masonry layout is like a brick wall sideways. Nobody makes walls like that, and I don't like the word just only for that reason, but that's just me being pedantic. Okay, so the word masonry will probably never die, but the actual keyword will be something else.
Yeah.
Right, which is also my least favorite way to do it. Sorry to be. I just don't like that now we have to repeat a whole bunch of new properties to make it that. Unless maybe we don't. I don't know. I guess I better stop speculating.
Yeah, that would be my question.
Item flow. You mentioned item flow. I think the idea with that, like there's the whole item thing. We're going to have a lot more of a universal properties across Flex Grid and whatever Masonry ends up being called. So I think that will hopefully mean.
So maybe it's a both. Like we'll get item flow and we'll get the new keyword.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Wow. Well, that's confusing, but I guess. That's...
Well, if they named it like grid dash whatever, Rupert. Let's just throw that one out there.
Sure. Rupert. Love it.
Grid stack I'm seeing here.
Yes, grid stack seems to be I think that's the only proposed one so far.
Then maybe it can still use the grid columns syntax. That would be ideal, right?
I think that might be why they want to start it with grid, is so you're still using grid template columns or grid template rows, and it makes sense within that context.
Okay.
I think that would be my assumption.
So there's less additional things needed.
Yeah. Then we're not doing masonry template rows and columns, and then that.
And then,
okay, well, you heard it here first.
Yeah, we're
Sometime.
second.
Breaking
No, that's great. Yeah, okay, resolved.
So you would hesitate to do a video on this like tomorrow because, dude, who knows how this is going to go down? You don't do like breaking news CSS.
No, maybe I should. I don't know. That could be anything
maybe
to try.
a new show.
Oh, you want to try out on our show? Chris will give you the lower third. Here you go. Go for it. Hit it. 5, 4.
Oh, am I going?
Yes, you.
Oh.
3, 2, 1, go.
Well, I can't. I'm like the worst improv on the spot person you're
I'll
going
set
to meet.
you up and you tell me the facts like the weatherman. Breaking news out of the CSS working group. We have a resolution on Masonry. We're gonna head it over to the reporter desk. Kevin Powell, tell us what's the situation over there?
Yes, thank you very much. It appears that the working group has finally resolved to actually move forward on a new display value that we'll be using for what we were calling Masonry layout, but it will not be called Masonry. The name is still to be determined, though, and we're waiting for more updates still.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kevin. And we're going to have over Chris for the weather. Chris, how's it looking out there?
It's hot. Hot today, hotter tomorrow.
Get your bikinis out. All right. Thank you very much. That's good. Wait, good job, Les.
I love everything. All right, so like here's all. We'll throw some at you. Like yes video or no video. The interest invokers or what or I was just looking at this yesterday. Una published about popover hint. So you probably, I bet that you gotta have done one on popovers, right? That's pretty
yes.
But even popover is a little shaky on browser support, right? But it's pretty cool. So yeah, so just popover in general, yes.
I think.
What about popover hint specifically? Too niche?
It's probably worth looking at. Yeah, I think I'm definitely. I'll probably wait on it a little bit, but not too long because it's cool and useful. Part of it does come to. I guess I like just seeing if like where it looks like the other browsers are going with it too. Like if Safari all of a sudden it's showing up in technical preview or something, then like let's make a video.
There you go.
It's in TP, so it'll be in. It's in beta,
really?
So it should be in the new Mac OS.
Nice.
So.
Okay. Well, then I was playing with. I hadn't realized that there was a implementation of that. This is new to me. I'm not trying to like be like, look at me, I know new stuff too, because I just read this blog post. But there's an interest for attribute that's related to it, and it basically means like hover or you tab to it, meaning it's the first time we've ever had like
Tooltip,
hover
basically.
in HTML.
In HTML, yeah.
It's crazy. And it works. I mean, it works in Chrome Canary with experimental web features on or whatever. But it's kind of interesting to see, and Una's demo was pretty cool, and it looked like a Facebook post, and then the Facebook post had a menu, and you click the menu and it opens up. That's a popover. And it's probably a popover of type manual, because who cares what happens to other popovers? Like, it's a menu. It should just open up. And that matters because if you open some other tooltip somewhere else on the page, it probably shouldn't like close that menu, or maybe it should. It's like you have to make UX decisions about how you want these things to behave. But then she just hovers over the thing that said like 24 likes. And that just shows like a little black popover of some names in it. Hovering is like a nice functionality for that, and hint was a good thing. I don't know, she just did a good job on the things, but it's interesting to see how the web platform, which little niche features they give us. But it felt, even while I was playing with it, I'm like, this is so stinking new. It's like, I still blog. I wouldn't even maybe, like, it's on the line for even blogging about, because it's so new,
I'm going to leave a comment on Chris's video, short here, about interest for. And Kevin, you tell me how you're going to respond.
Okay.
Does it work in Firefox? What's the vibe? What's the vibe?
That is a very typical comment. You're on the nose with that.
Yeah.
Usually, again, it depends on the context of the thing. And I try to be as polite as possible, and just be like, this is what we can look forward to, and it will work. Or it's, if it could, I don't think that would necessarily be a great progressive enhancement. But if it's something that can be, I'll mention that. Which I always try hard in the video. These days I've gotten just so jaded of people complaining about browser support that I try and mention it at least once in the video if it's newer.
That's like your first line of defense. Or whatever.
But I mean, whatever. It is what it is, and I get I understand if you're the developer and you watch this video that I put out and you're like, that's amazing, and then you go to do it and you're like, oh, I can't use this for 2 years. It's definitely frustrating. So I understand the frustration too. I don't want to be like, oh, their complaints are invalid, but it depends on what it is.
I get the kind of emotion of it because I love playing around with new stuff, and then you do kind of sit down at work. I have a job, and you're like, okay, I actually need to use this. It really is like a mental shift where you're like, well, I'm obviously not going to use anchor positioning. What am I crazy?
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of hit points to use new stuff. Yeah. So you can't
here's
just
another one. Interpolate size. What's the thing for that one? Like allow keywords or something like that? Yeah. No, not even a whiff in Safari and Firefox, but we've had it for a minute now in Chrome, and it's epic. It's so cool, It is. That's a tricky one, isn't it? I keep watching and seeing if we get stuff to use for that, because it's one of those ones for like, we're all approximately the same age, right? Like our entire career has been like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you can, and sometimes CSS stuff moves really fast, and you just get it all of a sudden. And this is one that's not the case.
Yeah, which is a little frustrating, but it is that one's definitely, I have included it in videos. I haven't made a video that's just like, let's look at this one thing, but I've used it in things. Actually, I think one of the ones I did it in was like animating a detail summary. And even with that, it was a bit annoying because I think you can do that in all of them, or at least within Safari too, but on some of them, like they have a new pseudo class for the details opening and closing.
Details content or there's a new,
like for when it's opened or not, to detect when it's open or not.
Yeah.
And I did my video using that.
Right.
But then Safari doesn't support that yet, but you could just use the open attribute instead. And I'm like, why do we have a new pseudo class if I can just use the open attribute? But I just followed what I was reading about and working, and I guess I should have tested more. I definitely should occasionally do some cross-browser testing before I make a video on something, and I sometimes catch myself out on that.
No, don't do it. No.
I remember that one. I remember being like, why do they have... Because it's details open, not just open. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's not just open is because details can be a popover. Like that element can be a popover, and the state of the popover is determined by open. So you need a different pseudo element to know if the details is open, not itself as a popover. It's like, oh my God, that's the nichiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I learned through OpenUI, people hate the open attribute and think it's dumb and a mistake. So I think maybe that's part of it too. Sort of, it's kind of like checked or like value. It's kind of like, okay, you can set it, but it doesn't mean anything after you mess with it. You could be like, just details open, display none, and just wreck it, or you can, they
don't like it because of stuff like that.
Yeah, just the way it applies, just how attributes apply before they render or whatever. So
does that work? Details open. Details open, display none. It makes me want to make like one of those bricks game, where the ball is bouncing and then as soon as you click it, it just disappears. Yeah, you could probably do that. All right, so you do mess with shorts though, Kevin, right? Yeah. Is it is it because it's fun, or does it appease the YouTube gods?
What makes a good tech short? Yeah, like a good whatever CSS short.
It seemed my last, I don't know. Shorts too. I haven't really cracked it. I don't know when one's going to take off or not. I don't know how important the thumbnail is for them, because it seems to be ones that have like a thumbnail. Like I have one where it's just about text. I don't remember what it is. Where you can click on I know it's all is the value. You click on it and it selects all the text.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I put
CSS. Really?
Yeah. It's called, anyway, the title of the video is Make Any Text Instantly Selectable. But on the thumbnail that just got auto-generated, it says "Be careful with this" in really big type, and I'm like, and that one took off.
Subtitle.
Yeah, and it was like, and it worked out perfectly, and the video took off. But I'm like, is it just because of that thumbnail? But then setting thumbnails on Shorts is the stupidest thing in the world, because you have to do it on your phone. It's not through the YouTube Studio. It's through the page. You go on the I don't know. I've tried it like 3 times, and it's just the worst experience ever. So I never bothered doing it.
But you think, like, most shorts are seen because you're just whipping that finger.
Exactly, yeah. I think you need movement or something within, like, if you're just showing code and nothing's happening, you
do see that title. I bet the title of the thing is "Be careful with this."
No, I think that comes at like halfway through. The actual title is "Make Any Text Instantly Selectable." It's just like an on-screen graphic I have at one point, because you can. Oh my god,
I would have almost swapped them, because not that you know, like I'm giving you YouTube advice. I could try. My 8 YouTube fucking subscriber. But Dave and I are obsessed a little bit with this YouTube we watched about thumbnails specifically, and how it's like, it was about like the number one, I guess, takeaway from the video is like to like pique curiosity or whatever. Right. However you need to do that. It's not like use a face. It's not like pick a perfect title. It's kind of like have this main character, and the main character isn't necessarily a person. It could be whatever. And the point of it, though, is to get you to like not lie, show you what's in the video, but like kind of like whatever it takes is to get you to think about. So a title like, or a thumb even that said "Be careful with this" is like, I don't know, it's close. It feels like it definitely piques my curiosity, but it also doesn't say anything about the content of the video. Yeah. But maybe combined with the fact that you already have a freaking million subscribers and people already know who you are, that's like enough context for wanting to know what Kevin has to say. I don't know. There was an interesting one too that's like, everybody wants to put their face on there, but if you're Dave or I, that might work against you, because we don't have enough YouTube people knowing our face already. They said when you're like
just
a lower
shy of a
YouTuber,
million, just shy of a million.
When you're a lower YouTuber, it works against you, and the more popular you get, the more you should put your face on it. Fascinating.
That makes sense. Yeah, I know someone who puts their face for the first like 2 days, and then they switch it out for another one, because they assume the first couple of days it's people that already watch their videos, because it's going on the home feed and everything. And then they changed the thumbnail to take their face out, and they changed the title of it to make it more like search friendly instead of homepage friendly or whatever.
Interesting.
So you can change a thumb and a title without any
repercussions,
like losing the comments or likes or all that.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. And that's it. Actually, YouTube will retest things a little bit if you do make changes on those. They're very small, from what I understand, so you might never see a change, but there is a chance that all of a sudden something gets picked up. But they are finally. I don't know if you guys have access. I have the A/B testing for thumbnails, and I'm apparently in the list to get it for titles now, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, cool.
It'd be kind of cool to know. I don't know, because I think ours all whatever we're not a media empire here or anything like that. But like, I think it's mostly like the episode title, like episode 53 or what. I think we've actually started putting the text first, and it's, I don't know, it's just not, I just wonder what the effect titles have. It's a curiosity. It's not even like I'm trying to play the YouTube game. It's just a curiosity of like,
you want to get it.
What moves the needle? What changes the, I don't know, what changes the dynamics?
And we're interested in like just the number, like, because now we have a bunch of shorts too. Like, what shorts are popular? That's kind of cool. But you have a very more interesting needle to watch, which is, did this video make any money or not? Because I assume they do to some degree, right?
Shorts don't.
Isn't it like TikTok though? That does sort of, if you can do that game. That I don't
maybe
know. That's what I
don't know. I don't know. I'm not, for someone who's like makes a living making content. I'm not very good at like cross posting or doing other stuff. I probably should. I was at one point on TikTok, and I don't know, I wasn't getting a lot of return on it, and I probably should have kept it up, because I mean, my channel getting to here, I didn't, it happened because I did it for so long, for a very long time. So you'd think I'd be able to apply that principle to like trying to do new things or to branch out into other platforms, but I got lazy on that front.
I wonder if that's bad or good though, because it could, like for some of the videos we post on CodePen, for example, we just use Buffer. And you just make the video and you type some crap about the video into Buffer, and it just goes to those other platforms, which is fairly low effort, but it's because we're a small team and I don't have time to like individually manage TikTok. It's just not something we have time to do, but we do it. We publish it to TikTok. But I wonder, like, does that actually help us, or is it possibly even a detriment because it's this like weird abandoned channel? Like, we're not trying to connect with people. Whereas
right.
if you're like super engaged with YouTube, which you are, that's they know to, like, no, you want to engage with Kevin, you come to freaking YouTube, because that's where his eyes are. And that, I don't know.
I think that is sort of how I see it, just because of exactly like you said it. Like, I'm actually reading the comments and trying to reply to people and doing stuff, and like I always go back to YouTube for that. So posting in other places is always,
if you had some abandoned ass TikTok, can't you like smell that? Like people can be like, oh, he just hits the button to kick it over here. This isn't like real Kevin. I don't know what to think about that, but obviously it's working okay for you.
What was I think we were talking about it before the show, but where was the point where you're like, hey, this might be my job? Like, because you made that switch, right? You went from, like,
so it would have been, I'd been thinking about it. Okay, well, I went at the beginning. This is a hobby project that nobody's watching anything I'm doing, and it stayed like that for quite a while. And then slowly it got a bit of traction. At one point, it was sort of like, oh, I have coffee money now. That's kind of cool. Then it was date night movie money. And then at one point, it was sort of more of a side gig. And I'm like, I guess I should take this a little bit more seriously. And at that point, it was sort of at the back of my mind of like, could this, so far it's going in the right direction. Could this become something bigger, something that I can focus on entirely? So I had been thinking about it for a while, and I sort of came up in my mind is I need to have 6 months of savings on the side of like what my current salary is. And I have to be making at least roughly the same salary from content than I was from my job. And so most of my income comes from courses and not from YouTube. YouTube is nice, I guess, but it's so during COVID, YouTube, I mean, everything exploded on, everyone was just on their computer. Ad rates went up, views went up, everything went up. So like the revenue during that time wasn't too bad. But I've always treated the YouTube income as sort of a bonus as part of my content. It's sort of top of the funnel of my business. Wow. Just because, I wouldn't be able to live on YouTube alone right now. So courses are the main thing.
I think that's in the Bible.
Take that.
Man cannot live on YouTube alone. Jesus.
Teach a man to YouTube.
Teach a man to YouTube.
A day.
He'll eat for a day.
Build him courses and he'll eat for a year. Most of your courses are free, though. You have CSS Demystified is not free, right? So is that the big one?
That is, and I'm actually maybe a quarter of the way through. That one's like 6 years old now, so I'm doing a complete revamp of it. Sweet. I'm really bad at, actually, my wife is on my case because she's like, are you ever going to finish that? Because my last one took me like 2.5 years to make, which was Beyond CSS. Those are sort of my two big ones. I have CSS Demystified is more like intermediate. You've been writing CSS for a little while, and you're just frustrated. You got past the like, oh, this is easy, and like color blue part, and then you started getting into the parts where you try things and they're not working and you don't know why. And then I have Beyond CSS, which is sort of my more advanced one for people that are very comfortable with it. So
you don't have a beginner one. That could be.
So I have an HTML and CSS for absolute beginners, which is like that one's free, and that one's very like, you've never looked at HTML or CSS before, like you don't know how to make a website.
All right, you got it all going on then.
So
is that the Scrimba one?
There's I have a free one on Scrimba and an older course on Scrimba as well.
Is that like a you got
I see.
paid by them to make one kind of deal? That's or like
I was on royalties with them for quite a while.
Royalties,
and then they bought me out 3 years ago, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. You hear that, front end masters? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you have
I
one
do,
of those
I
too,
do
right?
have one with them. Yeah, and
they're good. I like front end masters. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you have some more coming up, don't you? Even.
I'm going back this fall to record another one with them. Yeah.
Hey,
nice.
Yeah.
My unfortunately, web components haven't quite popped. They occasionally get a blip, but I probably need to re-record the course, but I don't know if they even.
I'd say it's too niche, but it's not niche enough, I guess, Dave. You know, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I do call it React Web Components, and then I'll make $1 billion friggin' dollars. So
it might. That's crazy.
again,
but
titles,
it might
man.
work.
What's the title of the course? It's not like Intro to Web Components. It's got to be spicier. It's got to be like you are doing web development wrong, or
Yes.
So
It does prove that you got you have income from lots of different sources. Courses, you said, is the big one, but the more sources, the better. It seems like the safe route too. That's pretty classic, right? You know, all your eggs in one basket can feel dangerous when you're off on your own. So look, I got 5 different income streams, right? You could sell T-shirts if you want, probably.
that's kind of the strategy, the content creator strategy, like diversify, right?
I think that's the right idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find avenues. Like I know some people that make tons of money from advertising just in their videos and stuff. But I'm like, for me, first, I'm picky. I don't want to just, I get 7 emails a day from hosting companies, and I'm like, I don't use any of you, so I'm not going to promote you. But then when it comes,
take their money. What are you doing?
I'd rather, I don't know. I have enough trouble promoting my own products, so like promoting someone else's is hard. I'm like, if I could find like good paid products that could be implemented into my videos, I'd be happy to, but I'm like, I do vanilla CSS. There's not a lot of like paid products that we're going to this workflow of what I'm doing here. So
no, I happen to own one. We'll talk when the new CodePen launch. We'll get you. We'll just see if you got an opening.
Just feel free to send those hosts over to us. We'll take them.
Definitely. I know. I could forward every market email I get toward you if you want.
This episode's brought to you by VirusBox. VirusBox is the best way to host your website.
HostGator, chomp, chomp, chomp.
Oh, yeah. See, we add. We only stonks go up over here. So. Oh, man.
That's the best. All right, you do quizzes too. That's kind of weird. It's weird in that you're the only quiz I ever see on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Ever.
Yeah. I just do those. Actually, I started them for fun, and then I've continued doing them because sometimes they do give me content ideas. When I see, I wish that when other people answered them, they'd see what other people have picked. It's only like it doesn't expose it to other people. I see it in my side. But like I've had some where like 70% of people get them wrong on a question that I thought was obvious, or at least like not that hard. And I'm like, oh, I guess I should talk about that since apparently a lot of people don't know this.
I don't get it. What do you not see? You don't see any other people's votes? You don't
like if you answer the quiz, it tells you if you got it right or wrong.
Yeah.
But you can't see, like, I always get comments
you never
of,
get
like,
the results or
you
whatever?
don't see the results if, like, how have other people done, or, like, are you average, or, like, whatever it is, right?
That's like the whole point of a quiz.
Yeah.
Just to be like, did I get it right, and did most other people also
exactly.
get it right?
Yeah. So it's kind of weird that they don't have that in there.
Dude, what kind of joker made that feature? Oh, weird. Do you then post them to Blue Sky and all that other stuff, too, or is it, again, a YouTube exclusive?
No, I will. I'll post them to Blue Sky sometimes. It depends on the question. Sometimes I'll link to it, and other times I just sort of ask the same question over there.
Yeah, that makes sense. That was a kind of a segue to be like how important is the other social media stuff? Does that like factored into your day? I'm like, I guess I better get on Blue Sky and do some of that stuff.
I've never been. I tried I mentioned TikTok. I was on at one point doing like posts for Instagram that, like, those, like, what are they called? Where it's like the static images you can scroll through. I don't know what they're called.
Post?
Yeah, whatever. I'm never on Instagram. So like I was trying to, like, let's do Instagram, let's do TikTok, let's do this, let's like go on as many platforms as I could. Just that's what you're supposed to do as a content creator. And I just, if it wasn't a platform I used, which was all of them except Twitter at the time, then I just wouldn't stop after 3 weeks, because I never was going on it for any other reason except posting that, and then I'd forget about it. So eventually it just became only YouTube and only Twitter, and now Blue Sky, because I'm active there anyway. So I'm just do whatever I'm there for, and then occasionally post some related things.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, if you don't care, it's hard to force yourself to care, you know? Maybe it's chicken or the egg, you know? If you start getting a bunch of numbers on Instagram, it's probably a little more appealing to
I'm like, I should hire someone to be my social media
probably
thing would
manager.
Probably be a good idea. Yeah. But I have trouble delegating. So it's
it's also hard to to measure, you know, like let's say you did hire somebody, and it, like, how would you definitely know that it's working? Because it's kind of like, well, numbers go up, you know, and then you're like, okay, well, numbers go up, is that good? Did that translate to more sales of Beyond CSS or whatever? Because that's the number that actually matters, right? You spent money, so you ought to make money, and line goes up for social media doesn't always translate.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, everybody I've talked to that does sort of more tracking than I do, they don't seem to, you know, the size of a lot of these platforms that are more just instant gratification ones, they don't seem to translate over the same way some other stuff does.
Yeah, I mean, because I can buy you a bunch of bot followers today. Like, I'll do that for you. I'm good for it, but like, yeah, it doesn't mean it's quality, you know. So
no. Okay, so two related questions, possibly. You're Kevin Powell on YouTube. You're Kevin. That's your brand is your name. So I'm a little interested in that. It's like probably a strong choice to some degree. Is that, you know, just strengthens the power of your own name and all that stuff. Also makes you unsellable, you know, for better or worse, right?
Yeah, definitely something I've thought about as things were growing. As I said, when I started it, I never had any ambitions of it being anything other than a hobby project, so I didn't think about it. I had a channel already that I used to watch videos, so I just started uploading to there without thinking about it.
Oh, you just used your own profile. Yeah, hell yeah.
And then once I guess once it actually like took off and I was like, it became a business, then I was like, is this the best thing that it's so, like, it's literally me? And I think, as you said, there's a trade-off. There's the good or positive and a negative to it. It probably would be a good idea to have a brand at one point that I'm just the face of, because that at least you can transition that at one point if ever it's a requirement.
Right, it can.
I am, you know, I assume I'm not going to be writing or making YouTube videos when I'm like 75, so hopefully someone else can take over, but it's one of those hard things to like hand off to someone when it's my name. So it's definitely been at the back of my mind, but not enough for me to actually do anything about it yet.
No, and you can go pretty far. Like, there's plenty of YouTubers that just rock their name forever, and it's fine.
I mean, it is interesting. Like, it is interesting if you package that right. Like, you can sell that, right? Like, somebody can buy whatever CSS tricks or CSS friends or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just, you know, that is like an asset, a monetizable asset, you know, where like selling Kevin Powell probably, you know, people are like, I don't know.
A little awkward in the best case scenario.
Yeah. Like,
no, but now that everybody knows who you are, you've opened a million doors for, like, I want to do something else. Maybe I could be a dev evangelist or something. Well, you can walk the hell into that role, you know, and that's just instantly valuable too.
Yeah. Well,
which
like,
is,
you know, like
less true.
The Syntax story too, you know, like Syntax got acquired basically. So it's just kind of, you know, like, I think it's mutually, you know, working out for them. So I just, it's all that stuff. So.
And then written stuff I'm so curious about too. I spent so much time doing that, and I don't regret it. At the time I didn't. I don't really now, but it is, the story is changing, I guess, as a way to pivot to an obligatory like AI conversation a little bit. It seems like it would be hard to, if somebody's like, I want to do what Kevin's doing but with writing or something, like I feel like AI is influencing that maybe for the worse. Like that would be harder to do. AI can't do what you do. It can't do it. It can't be Kevin Powell, you know.
I just signed up for a new beta feature on YouTube to prevent deepfakes of me.
Oh wow! Whoa!
So I was like,
was it a problem? Was there a problem?
I think they're getting ahead of it.
Well, I mean, there's enough video out there of you now. You know, like it's just wow, interesting.
But
do you think about the AI like chipping your business, like CSS education, or not worried, or
a bit concerned, just because I do think there is a shift. It's I think the advantage, a little bit to what you're alluding to, Chris, about like if you're doing it with written, it's different in that at least with video and my face being in the video and stuff like that, like part of it is the education, but part of it is the personality and the authenticity of it and that. And I do think with the rise of AI, I'm hoping, I guess, at least that like the idea of like authentic people and brands and things like that are going is going to play into things. And that's so much harder to have with writing. I mean, with writing, there's, first of all, there's the amount of slop being generated that you're competing against. I guess video is having that same issue now, though. You also have Google apparently not wanting people to click on links anymore, which makes life harder and is an interesting pivot. So, you're fighting on a few different fronts there. There is the whole, like, what's happening with education thing now, though, which is hard. But again, maybe I'm lucky for the time being anyway, because AI is pretty bad at CSS. So I feel like I have a Discord where like a lot of the questions are like people going like, I tried, like these are the prompts I've been using and it's still just not working. What am I doing wrong? And it's like, oh, it just got this fundamental thing wrong. It was actually pretty easy. So as long as I keep seeing that, it'll hold out some hope for me.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And people just like it probably. Like I don't there's probably lots or most people watch you, not because they're every sentence that comes out of your mouth they're learning for the first time, but there's an element of like, I just like it. I just like enjoy it. It's a little bit like I don't know, people would read a magazine or something, but in the new world we watch YouTubes. I don't know.
Yeah, cool. And
nobody can do that but you in this case, anyway.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Just like I think you said it earlier, kind of like with videos, like people want the answer now, So like, and we have an answer me now machine,
Yep.
And so what happens? I think that's kind of like an interesting thing to think about, like just the instant gratification. Are you going to be pushed towards that or what? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a good question. I do know like a little bit of my analytics. Like I still get, I think half of my views come from old videos still, like more than 2 years old or more than a year old. So like that to me is a lot of the searchable content that I still get a lot of views on is just answering questions. But I'm like, that would be an interesting one to follow to see how the more like search-based stuff goes and if that's declining versus like I'm doing CSS battles, which are fun and it's more of like the edutainment style thing. And leaning more, and you can have fun, creating stuff. And I know for me when I'm watching videos, a lot of the time it's like you said, Chris, it's not learning line by line the code necessarily. It's like, oh, I never even knew that feature existed, and you just sort of park it at the back of your mind for when you need it next time or something like that. So
right. Edutainment. Yeah, I kind of should have used that word. I do kind of like that. Yeah, it was like even if you learned nothing from a video, it can still just be kind of like validating or something. Be like, oh, I do that too. So now I'm like more pleased with when I do it because I know that I'm not alone or things like that.
Well, hey, I do sad trombone. This is a hard stop edition, so we do have to shut it down. But Kevin, before people leave here, how can they follow you and give you money?
Yeah, the best place is my YouTube channel, which is just my name plus CSS, and you'll find me there. I do have a website at kevinpowell.co, which links to basically everything I'm doing, including my newsletter. So if you really want to make sure you don't miss out on any content, I send out a newsletter once a week that just has links to what I've put out and links to any cool stuff I found online too at the same time. And then, yeah, if any of the courses interest you, those are all linked on the website too. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
God, amazing. I could talk about this stuff for 10 more hours, but
10
we do
more
have to
hours.
stop.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks again for coming on. And thank you, dear listener, for downloading this in your podcatcher. Just be sure to share it up. There's a people find out about the show. Follow us on YouTube. We do that. Or one of the good ones, Mastodon or Blue Sky. And then, or join us in the Discord, patreon.com/shoptalkshow. Chris, you got anything else you'd like to say?
Ooh, that's right. Patreon. That's a good place to go for both Kevin and us. All right. Bye. shoptalkshow.com.